Thank you very much. Last round, any question? Okay, you'll be the first and then you'll be the second. It's the final round, so I'm not going to entertain any more hands after this. So it's the last opportunity. You'll be the third. Any other hand that I'm missing? Aye, Ketukutula. You are not a bona fide journalist. Okay, those are the three hands. Thank you very much, in that order.
Good afternoon, peers. Latasha Naidu from Newsroom Africa. Last year, there was the implementation of new joint rules of parliament, particularly related to decorum and not interrupting the president. Are there any additional rules that will be implemented this year? And secondly, the MK party were meant to have what they called the real State of the Nation address today. They've now postponed it to the 11th on the date of the first debate that's going to be held between the two houses. Are you aware of that? And will there be a platform for the MK party to essentially present what they call, quote unquote, the real State of the Nation to the nation? Thank you.
Hand number 2, Madam.
Thank you again. Dan Moyani from ENCA. Just a quick context. When South Africa deployed troops to the Central African Republic in 2013, fighting against the Seleka rebels, we lost 13 soldiers. 13 South African men, brave soldiers, died in the Central African Republic. Now, in the Eastern DRC, we've lost 14 soldiers. It's the worst casualty that the SANDF has suffered in a foreign land in defense of peace. Their bodies are being repatriated today. You are having a SONA tomorrow. As Parliament, how are you planning to honor the brave soldiers whose remains are coming back home today? Besides maybe the traditional 1 minute of silence you might be planning to observe if the Commander-in-Chief, when he starts speaking, allows for that. Parliament itself, as the house that approves budget for the Defence Force, money which is used for such deployments for peacekeeping, how are you planning, have you thought about it, to honor the brave soldiers who've died in the Eastern DRC just over a week ago?
Thank you. Last hand, the third one. Thank you.
Should I go ahead? Thank you very much. Arthur from Heart FM. Madam Speaker, you said that you have sent the request to the Department of Defense. I just want to find out, if you don't get a response by later today, does it mean that all the ceremonial activities will resume as per normal tomorrow, even if you get a response? If you don't get a response, I hope I understand my question. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think those were the hand. Presiding officers.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I think it's important to appreciate that the matters at hand in respect of the mission in the DRC and what has happened, it's a matter that all of us as South Africans, include Parliament, we really feel for our soldiers, but also for their families and their beloved ones who have lost them. And we appreciate the role that they had played in terms of the peace mission as to why they are there. We do know indeed that the repatriation of those soldiers will happen today. The programming committee of both houses haven't actually discussed as to what would be the role of Parliament in honoring those soldiers. But on Monday, the National Assembly will be having a debate on the DRC at a request of 2 of its parties. And I think in that meeting, obviously, condolences will be paid by members, but also a deep reflection of where we are and what, is the state of play, and therefore what Parliament can do. Therefore, I can say at this stage, Parliament has not reflected on the form, on how this will be undertaken, in honoring our befallen soldiers. With regards to the MK party and having a press conference on the 11th, let me just say it's not unusual that parties will have press conferences when they would want to express their view on one matter or the other. How they term it, whether it's the real SONA, I'm not sure. It's up to each party. You might have recalled that even in the past, even last year, on the opening of Parliament, when there was the formation of a progressive caucus, those parties met and they had a press conference. So it's not something unusual that parties at a given moment, it might be coinciding with a particular event taking place in Parliament. It may not be either, but it may be occasioned by what members or those parties feel requires them to express themselves publicly. So they will hold a press conference in that regard. Maybe on the matters of the rules, Chairperson, you can address it and respond.
No, thank you very much, Speaker. We can confirm that we've not changed anything thus far, insofar as the joint rule is concerned. We are quite confident that as they are, they still serve the purpose and this discourse in which we find ourselves in. So those matters of disruptions are being taken care into our rules, and we are quite confident that the proceedings will run very smoothly, because it is very clear to us all as members what is the business of the day and how must we conduct ourselves. And if you act outside that, the rules empowers the presiding officer to take the appropriate action. Now, the issue of the real state of the nation address, we don't know of. South Africa has only one president who is elected in accordance with the Constitution, and accordingly, in accordance with the joint rules of Parliament, he has since made his expression that he would love to address the nation, and we've since acceded to that. So so far as we are concerned, it is only the president who will then do just that. I've indicated when I was addressing you earlier on the proceedings thereafter, following him having delivered the State of the Nation address, all parties without exception, they will be given an opportunity to robustly engage and debate on the State of the Province address for full 2 days. And immediately after that, having had all the concerns or the applause that the president may be receiving, he will then respond back to the members. And after that, there are committees in place which will further take the priorities that the president may have laid down on that particular day and engage further with the respective department, just to make sure that there's accountability, there's checks and balance. So the processes are quite intense and very inclusive. So nothing will escape out of that. Now, to say the real state of the province, the real state of the nation address, we don't know what they're talking about. There's only one, and South Africa are waiting to listen to their president President as he addresses them. And we want to implore on them once again, let them listen, tune into their radios, media platforms. You know, what is good about media people is that immediately after that, you take your turn. You intensively drill, interrogate what the president has been said. Throughout the weekend, we know that you will be analyzing from one end to the last end, to our likes, to our dislike, whatever the case might be. But you're doing your work, and therefore there is democracy, there's transparency in this
Recording
country.
stopped.
Everyone has a right to freedom of speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On the issues of response, which you have asked, I am confident that you are going to get a response from the Defence Force, and we will advise accordingly the relevant parties who had made the request how the Defence Force would like to deal with the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker, Medidiza, Chairperson of the NCOP, Msweni Tsipani, Deputy Speaker, Mayor Lotriet, Deputy Chairperson, the Governor, House Chairpersons, Ntate Khadebe and Ntate Ryder, the Secretary to Parliament, Ntate George, the Secretaries of both houses. Thank you very much. Thank you to our esteemed colleagues in the media and stakeholders. We value your presence every time we invite you. I also wish presiding officers to recognize the presence of the veteran journalist, author, as well as anti-apartheid activist, Dr. Zubeida Jaffa. I see she is accompanied by your nephew. Yes, you are welcome. Thank you very much. Just a few announcements as we are concluding that to encourage the members of the media whose names appear on the website of Parliament who are confirmed for accreditation, please to use this final day to collect all your accreditation so that tomorrow those who will be broadcasting live at the parade outside of the City Hall, you arrive on time. There will be officials from the Parliamentary Communication Services who will assist you with the access. We know that you arrive on time, but we also wish just to remind you to arrive on time. Sometimes you have struggles with traffic and road blockages and everything. So please prioritize and make sure that you arrive on time so that you start your broadcast in accordance with your schedules. The presiding officers this afternoon will be conducting a final inspection of the venue to ascertain final to make sure that it's ready for tomorrow. Members of the media who wish to capture that, they will be with the ministers. You are welcome to do so. And tomorrow there is what we call compulsory briefing on technical issues relating to the accredited journalist that will be conducted in the media marquee. It is not conducted by the presiding officers. I know they are looking at me with concern because they've never heard about it. So,
I'm looking at you, Motapa, because I think that's where there'll be food and drinks for journalists.
yes, no, that media marquee has got everything, so they know it. So just be mindful of that. It's normally taking place around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, just before the opening of the red carpet, so that we know how we are supposed to conduct ourselves and you've got all the necessary information. Thank you very much. Kevin, you want to raise we have closed. Yeah, the walkabout we will put that information in the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. The media briefing is adjourned.